Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker. And tonight, again, I'm doing this almost on a daily basis now. This is becoming a really purposeful thing for me, and it's therapeutic for me. And I hope you get a little bit out of it too. Um, as I try to make this channel grow, and I know it's not going to grow overnight, so that's why I'm going to keep doing this every night until I get good at it, and until we build a little community of backbones over here. So today I wanted to touch on a video that is probably going to be as popular and as viewed as any video that you'll see or any footage that you'll see. And that's of the pizza guy, that guy named David Portnoy of Barstool. And he goes absolutely apeshit on his employee. I guess who's hosting a radio show on Barstool. I guess I don't watch Barstool. So, but I got this from X from another source. And the video just shows him berating this guy, and it's over the fact that the two guys at each end of Portnoy, I guess they were making jokes about Jews. And if there's any group of people that has a lot of jokes about them, I think the Polish people probably have more. Well, blacks have a lot too, but you can find jokes about Jews all day long. But the interesting part about this whole thing is that Portnoy took offense to it. He even made the comment, and you'll see it in the video, that jokes about Jews can lead to the murder of Jews. Now, Portnoy shows here that he has terrible emotions and he has no self-control. He's basically a woman. He's way too emotional to be a man. And he loses his shit, and his ego gets out of hand, and he basically showed his ass to the whole world. And Portnoy basically loses control over this. Now, he's very sensitive about this Jewish stuff. Recent reports out of Philadelphia say that there was a bar that he passed, I guess, or that he visited, and there was a sign that said "F Jews," which he reported to the rabbi in Philadelphia, and the rabbi stated that he was distraught and he was emotionally damaged, and he couldn't live with that, and it affected him terribly. I mean, give me a fucking break. Give me a break. You mean to tell me that this group of people who have done nothing but mock every ethnicity, every culture, every race, every group of people except themselves, they're allowed to do all that. But the minute you tell a Jewish joke, it could lead to the murder of Jews. That's a bit hypocritical, and it's so condescending and stupid. I mean, he should be ashamed of himself, and he looks like such a bitch on this video here, and it just goes to show you. It just goes to show you how soft and how powerful the ego is. And that's the one thing that we always, as men, have to curtail and control, is our egos, because some people think that the ego is a good thing. You need to have a strong ego, and in certain ways, yes, but your ego also lies to you. And we'll get into that with the man memo. But as I said, Jews in the media, in Hollywood, have made movies depicting Italian Americans as gangsters and as these sloppy slobs who, have spaghetti sauce all over their shirts and smack around their wives. Other ethnic groups, as drug dealers or criminals. They mock Christianity to no end. To no end. They had a field day with all the Catholic Church scandals. Meanwhile, they'll never come out and tell you that in heavily Jewish populated parts of Brooklyn, there was an epidemic of herpes that was going around in the late 1990s, early 2000s because of how they conduct their brisses. But that's a subject for another day. But Portnoy showed such weakness in his ego, and he showed his true self. He showed his true self to his employees. He showed his true self to the world. And now he's a guy that people used to like because he used to do these pizza things where he would go visit a pizzeria, try their pizza, and then give it a rating as if, he's the pizza know-it-all guy. But now he's kind of just like this, soft little pussy that can't take a joke. Now he can't take a joke. He was recently in Toronto on one of these, pizza excursions. And while they're filming, somebody drives by, a passerby, and says, F the Jews, right to him. And of course, he's not going to do anything about it because, how many tough Jewish guys are there in the world? Not many. But, he stands there holding this slice of pizza, and it is the funniest thing. And he's, of course, he says, "Oh, it's just the way Toronto greets me." And the owner of the restaurant or the owner of the pizzeria, what is he going to say? He's just looking for publicity for his business. But the real funny part was the people in the back, the bystanders behind Portnoy were laughing their asses off. And maybe tomorrow, the next day, if this story has legs, and I think it will, because he's been very outspoken about this stuff. Maybe I'll look for that video. This video was pretty hard to find. I can't get the full video here, but let me see. Let's play this. Bear with me for one moment. Let's see if we can play this. Now, this is Portnoy. This is his friend. This is his employee's radio show. I don't know who those two other guys are, but Portnoy says that he employs them, and he basically threatens him as his boss. He says, you work for me. I own you." And that's where, again, the ego comes into play, because he has to exert his dominance. He has to tell you that he's dominant. And as you know, the old saying goes, any man who says he's the king is no king at all. But let's let you judge for yourself here. Let's hope this plays. Here we go.
Kirk, if you just want me to kick him out, not mention it, not care that this kid is
anti-Semitic,
shut up. If you just want me to ignore it.
Don't tell me to shut up.
Shut the fuck up, you bald fuck.
Okay, go ahead.
How's that?
Oh, it's kill. I'll never recover from that, Dave. Go ahead, continue. I'll never recover.
Well, you're the one who big boss man, don't tell. I'll tell you, you work for me.
Okay.
There it is. There's a "you work for me." He's in another room, probably in another state, telling this guy to shut the fuck up. And he has the whole boss flow going. So he could fire this guy anytime he wants. And this guy probably is, once in a lifetime opportunity to be on the show. I don't know if he's good at broadcasting or not, but he takes shit from Portnoy, and you can tell the other guy on Portnoy's right. He's not getting involved in this at all. These are sports guys. They're very limited in what they know and what they do. They can only talk about sports. So I guess I don't know what the joke was, but it offended Portnoy to the fact that he's berating these employees on air.
Go ahead, continue.
You little bitch, you work for me.
Sure, you bet. For now.
Oh, you don't? Bitch. For now, quit. I don't care.
Is this show or not a show? Is it a show or not a show? We can't have a conversation?
You're an idiot.
Okay.
You're literally saying people should be allowed to make Jew jokes, say whatever they want right fucking now.
Yes, I think people should be allowed to make jokes.
So how many motherfucking Jews have to be killed before you stop?
So there's Portnoy's rationale. If you joke about Jews, they'll die. Right? That's how weak and fragile these people are. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't think that's not true at all. But again, the Jewish community, that tribe, controls the media, Hollywood, radio, newspapers. They have done nothing over the past 50 years but mock Christianity and different ethnic groups. That tribe also has a very strong grip on the adult entertainment industry, and 99% of the women that are exploited, the sick women that are exploited on those sites, are most likely Christian women. Ron Jeremy once said, and he's a real pig himself, Ron Jeremy once said that he's living every Jewish boy's fantasy because he gets to, and I quote, fuck Catholic girls and make money doing it. So these people, they love to dish it. You can see comedians from that tribe mock Catholics all night long for profit. But the minute you tell a joke about these people, about that tribe, you're committing murder. And that's absolutely ridiculous. It's hypocrisy times a billion. They love to play the victim, label you, and then threaten your livelihood, threaten your finances, threaten your reputation. How many times did he berate that guy and become personal? That's what women do. He called that guy a bitch, an idiot. That's what low value people do. Women do that. Minorities do that. Low value people do that. He didn't make a case for why the joke was bad. We don't even know what the joke was. But he made no case into saying, hey, listen, this joke was offensive because. No, he just went out there and told him to shut up and you're an idiot and you're a bitch and blah, 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 blah. And if you want to quit, go quit. You'll lose 500 grand. Like he threw the guy's finances out there. And these are the type of people that they don't last. They are fly-by-nights. And, you know, he's now shown his true colors. I hope people realize that this is a piece of shit that you should not invest your time in, certainly not your money in. And as I said before, he's shown his ass to the entire world. Now, if you look at the banner here, I don't think Portnoy is going to like this banner either. You know, he might come after me. Who knows? But Dave has got to get a little bit thicker of a skin because he's the bitch and he should shut the fuck up because he's the idiot. And he should look into the history of how his people have depicted other people in media, in print, in radio, in film, in the debauchery world of pornography. And then come back to me and say, hey, how many of Christians have you killed? How many porn stars have committed suicide, overdosed on drugs? How many people died in wars to defend your people? World War II, 60 million people died in that war for your people because your people weren't able to defend themselves. Get a life, dickhead. It's just it's sickening. It's sickening. And as I said, it's a world that's just it's sick and getting sicker. And men are just, well, he's not a man. He's a fruitcake he's a top nut on the fruitcake. And you should not listen to garbage like that, because his toxicity will spread to you. It wouldn't surprise me if in a year or two this Barstool stuff just starts to collapse. Maybe a story about him comes out. These things always come out. Now that he's becoming a negative target, he's becoming a negative now. Something's going to come out. It always happens. It's like clockwork. You can almost predict it. But we'll see. We hope not, because we don't want to see anybody get hurt. But these people bring this upon themselves, and by him engaging in this type of hypocrisy and holier than thou bullshit, I mean, something will come around the corner and expose this freak for what he is. All right. So when we talk about people like Dave Portnoy, we always have to talk about the ego. And the ego, as we know, is a mirage. It shows us what we think we want. It lies to us. It shows us who we think we are, who we think we're not. But sometimes our ego makes us believe that we're not good enough, or that another person's grass is greener on the other side. We may look at Dave Portnoy and envy him. You should not. This leads us sometimes into a trap where we emotionally cling to others for validation. This misconception leads us to idolize individuals and put them on a pedestal as if they possess something unattainable. Dave Portnoy became famous because he went to pizzerias and rated pizzas. And he talks about sports. Why can't you do that? Why can't you come up with a better idea? You certainly can. Yet when stripped down to our essence in life's crucial moments, we all realize no one holds a special ticket. Steve Jobs built one of the biggest American companies in history, Apple. His last days, when he had cancer and there was nothing anybody could do for him, no amount of money could save him, none of the technology, nothing on this planet that he had access to could save him. He was less human than you and I are, because he was dying of a debilitating cancer while we were sitting here healthy. So all that money in the world, all the power that he thought he possessed, was for naught. It meant nothing in the end. He suffered and died. Just think about that. We're all equally vulnerable. We're all equally human. It's crucial to confront this illusion head on, to see it for the mirage that it is, and not to let it distort our perception of ourselves. Let's look at self-confidence and inner healing. It's okay to remind yourself that you're amazing and you're special and you're unique. I know that sounds corny and gay and all that, but you must do that. It's a healthy practice for building self-esteem and nurturing that inner creative child in you. That inner child in you is the one that creates, it's the one that develops, and it's the one that has purpose, and it evolves, and it keeps evolving, it keeps growing. However, embracing this mindset doesn't mean we're viewing others as less than or separating ourselves from a collective human spirit or experience. We're not putting ourselves above anybody. We're not being like a Dave Portnoy or some of these celebrities or politicians who think they're untouchable. No. We always stay humble. We always keep our feet on the ground. We always stay level. Embracing this mindset doesn't mean we view others as pieces of shit that we can talk down to. We don't call them bitches. We don't tell them to shut the fuck up. We explain to them what may be wrong with their argument in intelligible terms. So it's about recognizing that while each of us has a unique path, no single path is superior to another. There are some people in this world, there's a guy out there who wants to be a plumber. And there's a guy out there who wants to be a financier. Guess what? The world needs both. And you shouldn't shit on one guy for wanting to be a plumber. We shouldn't shit on the other guy for wanting to be a financier. The financier is no better than the plumber, because when that pipe breaks, that plumber is going to charge that dude an arm and a leg. Trust me, I know a few plumbers. It's highway robbery what they charge. The subject of detachment, particularly in relationships, is easy to fall into the mindset of fearing the loss of someone. If we think that somebody is better than us, sometimes we want to stay friends with them, and we'll do anything we can to stay friends with them because we don't want to lose them, because we idolize them. They are false idols, and you can't fall into that trap. This thought pattern is a direct offspring of our ego whispering lies of limitations. In truth, enforcing the emotional detachment is not about denying feelings or becoming indifferent. It's about embracing our capacity for love. Acknowledging that while someone can be special to us, our completeness never depends or relies on their presence. It's a woman, a family member, friend, a celebrity friend that you may have. We've seen these people who latch on to celebrities. They give up their whole lives to be a celebrity's assistant. I knew a guy who was an assistant for a pretty big actor. Never got married, never had kids, because he was driving and following this guy around the world, helping him with his career. He was basically this guy's lackey for years. He still is. He's my age. But he gave up his life to attach himself to a false idol. And that's a terrible thing to do to your life. You must realize that you have to embrace the capacity for love. And no one person completes you. This realization liberates us from fear-based attachment. This empowers us to love freely without being clingy. It's invaluable to practice seeing every individual, including ourselves, through the lens of equality. Everyone we meet, everyone we might lose, plays a role in our journey, just as we play a role in theirs, but no role is indispensable. By internalizing this, we cultivate a profound emotional strength that prepares us to face life's uncertainties. Remember, life is about impermanence, and we'll do it with grace. The Stoics taught us the importance of focusing on what we can control. In applying this to relationships, we find a path to genuine peace and resilience. Then and only then can we shed this illusion cast by our ego and embrace the liberating truth of our shared humanities. And I hope David Portnoy can do that, to control his ego and to take a step back and to look at how he's treating people that he feels are below him. All right, that's the memo. This is like 3-4 nights in a row where I'm on here with you. And it might be 5, 6, or 7. Who knows? It's supposed to be 91 degrees where I am tomorrow. So I might be out, but maybe not. All right. So how do we leave you? Thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And gentlemen, be careful out there. My friends, Satan is busy. You saw how the ego works. That's a tool of Satan too. Be a man. Have a backbone. Because common sense and masculinity are worth standing up for.